What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? It's your boy, Pastor Alex Bryant. Welcome to Frontline Faith with Alex Bryant. It's Tuesday, January 21st, and as you can see, we got a new president. Well, an old president, an old new president. Well, he's just back. Let's just put it that way. DJT is back. What is that? What up? There's the man right there. He's giving us his official shot. Yeah, he's giving us a shot. DJT inauguration yesterday. It was a crazy day yesterday. I'm going to tell you, I couldn't take my eyes off the TV. I just kept watching and listening, like many of you. I want to know what the guy had to say. What's he going to say? What's his speeches? Which his speeches were dynamic, by the way. We're going to get into all that stuff. All of it, the balls last night, I stayed up until probably a little bit later than I needed to last night watching the balls, the different balls they went to. It was a good day. It was a really good day. Well produced, a lot of good stuff. DJT, President Donald John Trump, I mean, the guy signed, 200-300 executive orders, or some of them are executive orders and then I don't know what you even call it. They're saying, well, some of these are executive orders and some of them are actions, or who knows what the legal terms are. But he got to work. And then this morning, they're waking up because they have the prayer breakfast that they'll go to, the prayer meeting there, and he's already teasing more stuff to come. If you open up foxnews.com, White House hints a massive announcement from President Trump on the first full day in office. It makes us go, what's he going to say? What's this massive announcement? What's he going to talk about? So, yeah, that's the deal there. Let me give you a little rundown of what to expect from the show today, and then we'll dive right into action over here. Of course, we have our show, the What's the Big Deal? Trump's back. That's the big deal. I got some thoughts on that. We'll go in that in just a couple seconds. And then we should have a special guest, my buddy Shad McGuire. He is #1 conspiracy theorist. We'll have him in, and we'll talk about all the pardons that President Joe Biden.
Who's the president, man? Who's the president?
Byron. He's not the president anymore, but Byron. We'll talk about the pardons. I can't believe it. I mean, this guy, shady. That's the only word that I'm going to use. My buddy Shad and I will break that down. Of course, at around 10-ish, we'll have the top stories of the day. That's the things, the quick hitters. And then we'll talk about what people are talking about on X, on Twitter, Facebook, whatever, the water cooler at work, what people are talking about. There's a lot of stuff that we got to dive into. So what's the big deal? That's the first thing. Here's our first segment.
What's the big deal? Opening news story.
What's the big deal? You guys know what it is. It's Trump's inauguration. It was a good day. Now I'm going to say this before we even go. I was nervous. I mean, a lot of you were not worried because, I mean, there's just no denying that that God's doing something. I mean, like, this guy should have had his head blown off, but God. And I mean, Trump is acknowledging that. The dude said, God saved me and called me for a purpose. This is what the president of the United States, Donald John Trump, said. And this is so crazy because, like, I've watched this guy for years. I remember when all the hip hop artists were putting him in rap songs. I want to be a big baller like Trump, from Tupac to Biggie, NWA, all of them were talking about how Trump's a baller, how Trump's a man, how Trump's a pimp. We want to be a big baller like him. Jay-Z, Kanye, all of them were putting him in rap songs. This brother was as far from man of God Christian as you can think. And I'm not saying that he is. I'm not saying he's not a Christian. I'm not trying to judge this brother, okay? I do believe that the Bible says we know that they're believers by the fruit that they bear. And for the president of the United States to get up there and say that God saved me for a purpose, and that was to make America great again, wow. I mean, that's like Martin Luther King Jr. He was created for a purpose. Obviously, he was a pastor. He was a minister. He had his failings. He had his shortcomings. Obviously, he did. But he was created for a purpose, to lead the civil rights movement. William Ford. I mean, there's people. William Wilberforce. There's people that God created for a specific purpose. That was to bring about the end of slavery in the United Kingdom and England. And then that opened the door for us to have the end of slavery here. Martin Luther, I'm talking about the German monk, was created to bring about reform to the Catholic Church, to get the Holy Scriptures in everyone's hands. There are people that I do believe God created for a specific purpose. And it's great when they recognize and acknowledge God as their Lord and Savior, as the creator of the universe, as the one and only. But even when they don't, God uses them for a specific purpose. And for the president to say that, I'm talking wow. So let me give you a couple points that I took away from the inauguration speech. First part of it, the speech is bold. There's just no denying it. I mean, here, let me just play a little clip of it, and we're going to talk about this. All right, well, we'll get here. There we go. You ready?
We will be the envy of every nation, and we will not allow ourselves to be taken advantage of any longer. During every single day of the Trump administration, I will very simply put America first. Our sovereignty will be reclaimed. Our safety will be restored. The scales of justice will be rebalanced. The vicious, violent, and unfair weaponization of the Justice Department and our government will end. We will be the end.
So, statements there, we will be the envy of every nation and won't be taken advantage of by other countries. See, that was something that Trump pointed out in his when he was running for president the first time, how these other countries were taking advantage of us. I didn't even know some of the stuff that he was saying. Trump, back in 2016, when he was running for president, I didn't know that our trade difference with China was $500 billion every year. Our trade deficit was $500 billion every single year. Why? Like what? Why are we losing that much money when they're supposed to be a trade partner? I didn't know that the United States was paying sometimes up to 100% of the NATO budget. And one of Obama's last years, we gave them 103% of what their original budget started. Why? Because they came to us and said, we need more money. These other countries aren't paying their fair share for NATO. You know, you got countries like Germany who they don't even have a real military because we have so many of our veterans and our military people over in Germany. They just depend on us for their safety and their well-being. So they don't spend money on their own national defense. They spend money on other stuff they want to because we have our military over there as a deterrent to other countries that tries to attack them. I didn't know this stuff until Trump pointed it out. We didn't know about, how the United Nations was taking advantage of us like that. How, it came out a little bit later about the World Health Organization. All these different things we didn't know. How there was so much money overseas. I remember hearing the term repatriatization of money. How Trump was like, we have trillions of dollars that companies like Apple, Google, these United States companies are keeping overseas because they don't want to bring back into the United States because they'll have to give a third of it away. And so he said, listen, I'm going to give you a one-time repatriatization break. If you bring your money back to the United States for jobs, for our economics, we'll give it to you at 10, 12% or something like that. And the company said, okay, yeah, we'll bring our cash back. These are things that Trump sees that other people don't. And Trump points these things out to us, and he tells us how these other countries are taking advantage of us, how Mexico and other countries. Remember when he came out, it was so controversial. He's like, Mexico, they're sending us their worst. They're sending us rapists and murderers. And, and everybody's like, that's racist. You can't say that. And it might not have just been only Mexico. It's Venezuela, Honduras, all these other countries were sending their people. They're opening up their southern border, our southern border, and they're just letting them walk across. They're bringing drugs, fentanyl, whatever across. They're trafficking children. They're murdering and raping our people. They're killing our people. Trump pointed these things out. And he'd say, our politicians are stupid. They're stupid. And everybody's thought, oh, that's rude. This guy's just rude. But he was telling the truth. And people didn't like him for it. The media excoriated him for it. They did not, oh, that's mean. That's mean-spirited. He's a mean tweeter. And it just kind of didn't sit well with a lot of good, nice people because like, well, you shouldn't say these things. But Trump said, we are going to be the envy of every nation. They will no longer take advantage of us. And now we're going, yeah, we want that. Because we saw life with Trump for 4 years. We saw life without Trump. And we're like, ooh, we like it better, life with Trump. They told us last time that Byron got, 80 million votes or something crazy like that. Like everybody's like, did he really? Come on, did he really? 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 I mean, yeah, no, he didn't. And so, there's some craziness going on there. But this last time, 7 million voters that voted for Byron the first time said, nah, we ain't doing it this time. And they just stayed home. Man, Trump's speech was bold. He talked about America first. He talked about our sovereignty and our safety will be restored. People like to hear this. This is why we voted for Trump. The scales of justice will be rebalanced. The weaponization of the DOJ, that's going to end. That's stuff that Trump was talking about. And we like to hear it. Americans want to know what's going on with that. Here's some other stuff that he talked about. He talked about the failures of the past few years. Play this clip.
Presidency confident and optimistic that we are at the start of a thrilling new era of national success. A tide of change is sweeping the country. Sunlight is pouring over the entire world, and America has the chance to seize this opportunity like never before. But first, we must be honest about the challenges we face. While they are plentiful, they will be annihilated by this great momentum that the world is now witnessing in the United States of America. As we gather today, our government confronts a crisis of trust. For many years, a radical and corrupt establishment has extracted power and wealth from our citizens while the pillars of our society lay broken and seemingly in complete disrepair. We now have a government that cannot manage even a simple crisis at home, while at the same time stumbling into a continuing catalog of catastrophic events abroad. It fails to protect our magnificent, law-abiding American citizens, but provides sanctuary and protection for dangerous criminals, many from prisons and mental institutions that have illegally entered our country from all over the world. We have a government that has given unlimited funding to the defense of foreign borders, but refuses to defend American borders or, more importantly, its own people. Our country can no longer deliver basic services in times of emergency, as recently shown by the wonderful people of North Carolina, been treated so badly.
I mean, the guy was just on it. He said that we have to be honest about the challenges that we face. And the cool thing about that, the baller thing about what Trump is doing there is he's saying this with Joe Byron right there, right at his back. I mean, he's listen, the guy was terrible and taking a word from Charles Byron. He was terrible. He should have just looked at him and gave him a look. I'm talking about you, Joe. You know who I'm talking about. That's what he should have done. But it's so true. I mean, we have to be honest about the challenges we face. He said there's a crisis of trust. Where did that crisis of trust came from? The weaponization of the justice system. Stop and think about that. The weaponization of the justice system. And what Trump did, he said he was going to do it, and then he did it in one of his first executive orders. He pardoned the 1,500 J6ers. These people, he said they were political prisoners. Everybody's like saying, oh, they're criminals, they're rioters. You didn't even see a big old backlash from the left on this one because they knew it. They knew that these people, because if you stop and think about what happened with this J6 stuff, and I'm going to go into it in great detail. I mean, not only did you have this sham trial, this sham production that was supposedly bipartisan committee, and then they gave all the information to these judges, and we're talking about almost 100% conviction rate. The praying grandma, the 72-year-old grandma lady. I went into this in great detail on my podcast, The Way We See It. You should check that out. Anywhere you get Spotify or where you get your Apple iTunes, The Way We See It. I talk about these pardons on there. The praying grandma, a lady from Colorado who literally was let in by the police, walks around the Capitol for about 10 or 15 minutes. They were trying to put her in jail for 10 months. She ended up getting 6 months probation. It cost her about $103,000 in legal fees and fines and all that. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. And, there is a crisis of trust because when we hear stuff like that, it makes the average person, the average common sense person go, what? Hold on a second. There's something shady. And then after the select committee, with the bipartisan committee, the J6 committee did their stuff, they end up destroying all the evidence. They destroyed it all, got rid of it so that it couldn't be overturned. It's shady. And that's why Byron ended up trying to give a pardon to all these people. My buddy Shad, he's here. We're going to be talking about that here in the next segment. But that's shady stuff. Trump talked about the government can't even manage a crisis at home. You look at the hurricanes in North Carolina. You look at the wildfires in California. Talk about the spy balloon that went all across our country. The government can't even handle a crisis. And the government led by certain people, they can't handle these crises. He talks about the global crisis, the mistakes and the miscues, giving millions to defense of foreign borders, but refusing to secure and defend our own border. That's what he's talking about. And that's something that Trump's pointing out. The open borders, the issues in USA, failed immigration policies. Trump is pointing all these things out. It's important to do that. And, this is what his speech was, baller style. Biden's sitting right there. Kamala Harris is sitting right there. And he's saying, listen, before I tell you the hope, before I give you all the good stuff, let me tell you about the failure of these two jokers. That's what he did. All right, what else he talked about? He also talked about the many executive orders that he will issue. There's a few of them. I mean, this could be a whole story in and of itself. He ended up signing a couple hundred of them. But this is what he said. He said that he'll issue these executive orders today. He issued them in a couple of different places. I think they started with where they started when I want to go to this camera right now. They started with when they were at the press conference. Then he went over to the arena in front of the people, pulls out the desk. Then he goes back to his office. And the cool thing about that is, and this desk like this, he's got the press there. He's got our very own Will Scharf from Missouri, ran for Attorney General here in Missouri. Now he's at the desk. That's the way to lose. If you're going to lose, you might as well lose upward, right? I mean, the brother went from running for Missouri Attorney General, and now he's on screen all day yesterday giving executive orders to the president there, helping craft them, helping get the exact language. He's just a brilliant mind, Will Scharf. And so he's got all these executive orders that he's going there. And several of them. He declared a national emergency at our southern border. That's what's up. They got the desk like this. Will's handing him the executive orders, Trump signing them, and then he's talking like just extemporaneously to the media, to everybody asking all kinds of questions. Joe Byron could have never done that. The dude could have done. Leave me alone. I gotta sign my name here. Yeah. Hold on. Jill, can you just sign this for me? I mean, is that wrong? Should I not make fun of the guy? But she was running the show anyway, wasn't she? And the little Obama bro staffers that came from Bernie and stuff. But so, yeah, Trump, he declared a southern border is a national emergency. He designated the cartels as foreign terrorist organizations. Why is it important to do that? It's so that we can take action against these jokers. Terrorist organizations. You step foot over here, we got you. And it gives him and our Congress and our authorities more legal rights to go after these people. This is what Trump's doing. He's brilliant in there. He talks, and just a lot of executive orders on the border. the millions of criminal illegal aliens, they're going to be deported. He's going to end catch and release. The reimplementation of Remain in Mexico. These are policies that he put into practice, and he's bringing them back. He's going to establish the External Revenue Service to collect tariffs. That's one of the executive orders. The establishment of the Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE. I'm excited about that one. The Department of Government Efficiency. It's supposed to be led by Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy. Now we understand that Vivek, he may not be able to lead because he's going to take on another undertaking, something small like, running for governor in Ohio. See, that's like the trickle-down effect. When J.D. Vance became VP, which, by the way, he's the first Marine to ever become vice president. So then the governor, I think it's DeWine in Ohio, he had to nominate someone to replace him. He nominates the lieutenant governor, who the lieutenant governor was going to, so now the lieutenant governor is now the senator, and he was looking to take over for DeWine because DeWine's out. So now we got to keep a Republican in there. Vivek Ramaswamy, he's popular. He's from Columbus, Ohio, that area there. So he's running for the governor. So now he's not going to be able to lead DOGE with Elon Musk. So just a little bit of trickle down there. But so what else? Another executive order: immediately stop all government censorship and bring back free speech to America. You see all these tech giants that are lining up to get on the side of President Trump. Some people say they don't trust him. Some people say that they don't, that they're not necessarily into that. But I believe it. I believe it. I do believe that that he's like saying, here, take me over here, because I want you to see me on this one. People are talking about Zuckerberg, how he was, fake, how he's, because obviously last election he gave like $400 million to help secure for Biden, and then he came out even still with Kamala Harris, all those tech giants. But there's this wave. You had Elon Musk Joe Rogan. Elon Musk started to waken to what was going on. They looked at the weaponization. Zuckerberg said when he saw Trump survive that shot attempt, and he wakes up and he's like, fight. He's like, that was one of the most bad Apple things I'd ever seen. And he's like, and then so the final straw, he said for him, he said when Joe Biden gave his last farewell address and he called these guys the oligarchies, he's like, that was just highly offensive. And so this is where Brian Kilmeade was saying he had this talk with Zuckerberg and all these bigwigs, because like they weren't oligarchies when they were in the Democrat camp. When they're giving $400 million to get Byron elected, they weren't oligarchies then. They were just good patriotic Americans, right? So Joe Biden gives the Presidential Medal of Freedom to George Soros. Is he an oligarchy? This guy's giving billions to help get him elected, the Democrats. So you're seeing this shift now. I'm interested to see where this is going to go. And so they're going to stop all DEI initiatives in the government and establish what we all knew to be true. There's only two genders. God made them male and female. President Trump saying from here on out in America, there's two genders, male and female. You either stand up to pee or sit down to pee. That's just the bottom line. That's just the bottom line of where it's at. And then so he talked about the return of the American spirit. Let me just kind of give you this little clip, and then we'll bring my buddy Shad on and see what he has to say over here. So play this clip, Frizz.
I stand before you now as proof that you should never believe that something is impossible to do. In America, the impossible is what we do best. From New York to Los Angeles, from Philadelphia to Phoenix, from Chicago to Miami, from Houston to right here in Washington, D.C., our country was forged and built by the generations of patriots who gave everything they had for our rights and for our freedom. They were farmers and soldiers, cowboys and factory workers, steel workers and coal miners, police officers and pioneers who pushed onward, marched forward, and let no obstacle defeat their spirit or their pride. Together they laid down the railroads, raised up the skyscrapers, built great highways, won 2 world wars, defeated fascism and communism, and triumphed over every single challenge that they faced. After all we have been through together, we stand on the verge of the 4 greatest years in American history. With your help, we will restore America, promise, and we will rebuild the nation that we love, and we love it so much. We are one people, one family, and one glorious nation under God. So to every parent who dreams for their child, and every child who dreams for their future, I am with you, I will fight for you, and I will win for you. We're going to win like never before.
He said we're going to have the 4 greatest years in American history. That's bold. That's big right there. The return of American spirit. I like it. We believe him when he says that he will fight for us. You've seen it. You've seen this billionaire dude who relates to the average man and woman like never before. I mean, you know, he circumvented the media and went straight to us with his Twitter, with his X account, with his social media. I mean, this dude doesn't live like us, but yet we think he's one of us. How is that? He relates because, you know, the American spirit. And then when you saw how when he was out of office and when they went after the brother, man, that's where a lot of, I know, black and brown people started to go, dude, I mean, this dude, they're coming after him like they do brothers, dude. That's how a lot of black people think. That's how a lot of my cousins were thinking. A lot of the black comedians, like Donald Trump's got a little brother in him. He sells like tennis shoes like Jordan. He been shot like Tupac. I mean, that's what Eddie Griffin said. He's like, Donald Trump got a little brother in him, you know, and because he's relating. And, you know, we believe him when he says he's going to fight for us because his visceral instinct, after literally a bullet grazes his ear and misses his brain by inches, millimeters even, his instinct after he's bleeding and civil services coming to rush him off the stage, he's like, hold on. Fight. I mean, that's what's up. That we believe the brother. I mean, that's what we're looking for, to fight for. He thinks the forgotten man and woman. It's the return of the American spirit. He's talking about American exceptionalism. When Obama came on the scene in 2008 and he started went on his apology tour, there was something inside of us that went, come on, man. It's like if you got a great team and you're whooping everybody, you're not going to go around apologizing because you beat them. No, because then you'll eventually become crap like them. You say to people, you don't like it, do something about it. What you going to do? You know, but they gave us all this. We don't want to say, you know, radical Islamic terrorism because that might offend people. You know, it might offend them. So what are we going to say instead? We're going to say Islamic extremism. They don't even say Islamic, did they? They say extremism or something, whatever. They didn't want to say radical Islamic terrorism. I mean, it is what it is. And so Trump's talking about American exceptionalism. And so that's the deal there. And I already mentioned this before. He says he was saved by God to make America great again. I believe him. Let's do this. Planet 417, they host us and house us. Now, let me just tell you guys this. You're probably watching this on my Facebook. That's great. Maybe you're on our YouTube. We want you to eventually get to our YouTube and our Rumble because Facebook, very well, they might try to do some shenanigans with our, you know, with our feed, with our show. So we need you to make sure you're going to our YouTube, Frontline Faith YouTube. You can get it on Alex Bryant Ministries page there and click on like and subscribe. That way, you'll always know we're going to eventually move our show. We're going to move, and we want you to move with us. We're going to be on our Alex Bryant Ministries, our YouTube account on Rumble and YouTube. Those are the places we're going to be. You might be watching this on Planet 417. They house us here. We are thankful for them. Will Worsham, they give us the platform here. So let's give you a little video by them, and then we'll quickly bring in my buddy Shad McGuire. We're going to talk about these pardons. That's next right here on Frontline Faith with Alex Bryant. What's up? Welcome back to Frontline Faith. Pastor Alex Bryant, my buddy Shad McGuire's here. You got your Make America Great Again hat on.
I do. I cracked that out.
No, you wanted
there
to
you
do
go.
that, didn't
No,
you?
I grabbed the Chiefs just for you today.
No, this is like
all right.
This show is sponsored by. Yeah, why you bring that ugly Chiefs cup in here? We're sponsored. Make sure that's centered right there. So. All right, so man, Shad, man, been a good buddy of mine. We played football together at Evangel University. If you listen to me on KWTO, he's one of my fill-ins over there, and guest host, and doing a good job over there. You're also
I've never been a guest though.
You've never been a guest.
This is a first.
Can you hear him? You probably You.
I need to crack down a little bit.
It's like crazy.
All right.
I know we got to get our situation over here. Yeah, can you hear him
All
well
right,
or no?
can you hear me now? I can.
Okay,
I
you
can
can hear?
lean in.
There you go.
No worries.
Lean in. So wait, you're never a guest on?
I was never a guest. This is the first time I've been a guest. And after watching your first 2 episodes, I am your first guest, I believe.
Yeah, you are. Wait a second. You were a guest on Wake Up Free?
No.
Were you
I
a
was
guest
a guest
co-host?
host.
Oh, listen to him getting off.
I was never a guest.
Well, there you go.
So
anyway, and then you're also in the community here. Shad helped me with my campaign when I ran for Congress. Like one of my most faithful volunteers, just did everything, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, everything I needed.
the parade. What do you call it?
Organizing?
The trailer puller did not start this morning. So I'm very thankful to my father who showed up at my house, and I got his rig out front.
So the truck didn't want to start.
It did not want to start this morning.
The cold weather got you.
So I didn't even mess with the radio. So you know what I listened to the whole way over here?
What?
NFL radio on Sirius, and you know what they talked about?
What?
The Bears.
The Bears, you better recognize, and the new coach that we're getting right there. So I didn't bring it up, people. I'm going to later, but I didn't bring it up. So I got to talk about this, Shad. Let's dive into this. I was doing this story about the pardons. We saw Joe Biden. It starts with Hunter Biden, a couple weeks ago, he says, I'm not going to, this is what he said. How many times did he say, I'm not going to pardon my son. I'm not going to pardon him. We'll let the justice system play out. We'll let it do its thing. I'm not going to pardon him. And then all of a sudden, what did he do?
He pardoned Hunter Biden.
What's your thoughts on the pardon of Hunter Biden, the son?
Well, I think we actually talked about it on the radio. If he really, really loved his son, he would pardon him.
Yeah, I mean.
So I can't blame him for that, for sure. But the pardon went way beyond. It did not just cover, maybe the coke in the White House.
Because think about that. Yeah, it's like, the things that he was up for were the gun charges when he lied on his application and taxes. So that should have gone back. But you're right. The pardon went back to 2014, I believe?
2014.
Which all started with the whole shady business dealings.
Burisma over in Ukraine. So in addition, Marco Polo ran a book and showed everything that was blurred a lot of stuff that was on his laptop. And they proposed that there were almost 500 other crimes that they could have got him for if they really wanted to.
I hadn't heard that. 500 other crimes? I mean, dang.
It was Marco Polo. You can find that one.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, so, you look at this, the whole thing with his son. And here's the thing. The reality is that Hunter Biden was running front for his dad. His dad was the name when he was senator and then when he was vice president. It even goes back to that. It was James Biden before that. You guys have heard me talk about Peter Schweitzer. He's an author who's an investigative reporter, and his team, they wrote profiles of corruptions. That was one of the first books that I read that kind of went in and detailed all the situations. And then when they found Hunter Biden's laptop, remember when he left it at that station, the computer repair shop, the guy's like, hey, you need to come back and get this. And then he finally turns it over to the FBI, and he's like, there's some junk on here that people need to see. And then Miranda Devine wrote a book, The Laptop from Hell, and she went into all of it. Did you read that book, Laptop?
I did not. You read all the books. Yeah. I'm not the book reader. I did see that your clip was from Alex Jones. I started reading a book of his a year ago. I still haven't finished it yet.
You're a teacher, bro.
I'm too busy. I've been too busy.
Come on, man.
I've been busy.
So, but Miranda Devine wrote this book, The Laptop from Hell, and she just went into all these different crimes. She's the one that was just exposing the crazy stuff about him taking a shower with his teenage daughter. That's jacked up. This is President Biden.
In the diary. that she left somewhere else, and then they actually came after them civilly.
This is what happened. She was at like a bed and breakfast. She was doing drugs as well, and so she spent some time there. She leaves this diary in a drawer. The lady who owned the bed and breakfast found it and ended up giving it over to what's the investigative people? I forget that group that does the stings, the conservative group that does the stings.
Oh, the O'Keefe. It's the O'Keefe Media Group now, OMG.
Yeah, so she gave it to them, O'Keefe, and then they were like publishing it. They tried to call her like, hey, Ashley, is this your diary? She denied for a while. And then finally she's like, hey, listen, just give it back to me or I'm going to send the Secret Service after you. And then, so they get the diary back. They end up suing the ladies who own the bed and breakfast. I think she got sentenced to like 30 days in jail or something stupid like that.
I don't remember.
Yeah, but she got like fined criminally, like charged criminally for so-called stealing it when Ashley Biden left the diary, and it said in the diary how she was uncomfortable when her dad would take showers with her when she was like 13, 14 years old. That's inappropriate.
It's a bad deal.
I mean, you got this 3 boys.
No, I'm boy, girl, boy.
Okay, but
you're the one with the freshman
daughter. You don't have
daughter.
a daughter, do you?
I do have a daughter.
I thought you had 3 boys.
No, actually, my daughter was on the radio show after you were gone.
Okay.
When I was, we had her on Make America Healthy Again. We talked food, nutrition, and CrossFit.
What's your daughter's name?
Bethany.
I'm so sorry, Bethany. Wait, give me right here. I'm going to give her probably Bethany McGraw. I'm so sorry.
Bethany Bitten. She's married.
She's married now?
Oh, yeah. Two grandbabies.
2 grandbabies. Well, Bethany Bitten, shout out to you. So sorry. I thought you had 3 boys, man. Nope. I just always thought you guys were boy dads. Have I met your daughter? I met your dad. He's a fireman, all that good stuff. So
maybe not. I'm not sure. I guess not.
Why are you keeping me, Bethany? It's your dad. He didn't want me to be around you. He didn't want me to bad.
My wife was pregnant when we graduated college.
I remember
with
that.
Bethany.
Oh, so is she the oldest?
She's the middle.
Okay, she's the middle.
Yep. So nobody remembers the middle child, right?
That's rude. You just gave Bethany.
She would have been the one who said it.
You just gave her a stigma over here. Nobody remembers.
She already had it anyway. She's my only daughter.
She's the princess. But so anyway, and I have a daughter. She's my baby. She's 15 now. That's just
wrong.
That's just wrong. Like, come on, man. That's, anyway. But so then back to these pardons. So you got Joe Byron.
The Biden family crime syndicate boss.
I talked about that like extensively. If you listen to me on the radio, Wake Up Springfield, we're talking for months. I went into that because as James Comer and all these guys were coming at our very own congressman down in the Branson area, Jason Smith and Jim Jordan, because they were investigating all this. When the Republicans won the House back 2 years ago, the midterms, we were able to get the power of the investigation. And so they started investigating all these different things. And so they started to investigate the Biden crimes. Why did 12 Biden family members get money from other countries, from China and all these other,
including their grandchildren. Except for London. He's not, London's the one in Arkansas from the stripper.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they kind of ignored her.
Yeah.
She didn't even get a Christmas stocking.
She didn't even get a stocking. You went there, dude.
She did not get a Christmas stocking.
You went there. Mm-hmm. So yeah, and so did I think Hulk Hogan went there too. Did you see the Hulk Hogan? He was on with Jesse Waters.
Trumpomania, brother. Yeah, brother. I can't believe it. I'm not gonna rip my clothes off though. Okay.
Did you ever watch wrestling growing up?
Yeah, I came from a wrestling family.
Oh, dude, I watched some wrestling. You know what you're gonna do when Hulkamania runs wild on you, brother. And then you got Macho Man Randy Savage. Yeah, So, and then of course, one of my favorites is The Rock. Know your role and shut your mouth. So
you did that one to Don Luzader once.
That was a fun one.
Okay.
That was a fun one right there. Like, I still have people that tell me, I got Attorney General Ashcroft, man, he's like, that was a funny promotion. That was Don Luzader. He goes, I feel bad for Don. You got people, Colonel McChrystal, Scott McChrystal, which he's going to be on our show on Thursday, by the way. Colonel Scott McChrystal, he's going to be on our show. But yeah, I have people telling me at church and the mall, oh, I love that promotion. The Know Your Role and Shut Your Mouth. It was funny. That was Frizz. Matthew Frizzell, he did that one. So, but anyway, so let's get into some of these pardons. I want to walk through a little bit of it.
Okay, let's go.
We've been talking about the family. I want to put a pin in that one though, because I'm going to talk about the pardons in order. You had Hunter Biden. He did that a couple weeks ago, and then at the start of yesterday while we were all sleeping, or overnight, I guess.
I woke up, my first thing when I looked at my phone, Truth Social says Biden has pardoned Fauci, Milley, and the crew.
J6 committee.
That was it. That's what I woke up to.
And so let's talk about that.
Okay.
So let's say Fauci. Then again, I'll talk about this in depth on my podcast. Let's save Fauci. Let's go to Milley because that's the smallest one, okay?
Okay.
Milley, General Milley, he was over the Joint Chiefs of Staffs, but he was one that Trump had an issue with because he was calling China, saying, listen, kind of basically undermining Trump and what Trump was saying. And
He even said he did it in a congressional hearing.
Did he?
I think so, yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
So, he's not denying that he did it. And so Trump's like,
No.
that's treason. And so, which it is, because you're not supposed to undermine the president. The president's the only one, or if he gives you permission, you can talk to foreign countries on his behalf. But when Milley was doing that, undermining President Trump, Trump's like, that's treason. And treason, he said, is punishable by death.
Death.
And so that's when they're like, oh, well, Trump's going to try to kill this guy. Take it away. What thoughts?
Well,
I bring you in for the purely irresponsible.
I know, purely. You know what? You know how many conspiracy theories I have going on all the way around? It's a bad deal.
We need to hear some of
let's
them.
let's go all the way back. So there's a guy, Mike Benz. If you've ever listened to one of my faves is Dan Bongino, and he is a Mike Benz fan. So Mike Benz has a tweet back out in September 2023. And he says, as the years go by and more evidence comes out about January 6th, it's going to point a straight line to General Mark Milley.
Really?
He did.
Okay.
So not only do we have China and him circumventing, hey, you know what? If Trump ever thinks about doing anything or coming after you, I'm going to give you a call. I'm going to give you a heads up. I'm going to let you know.
And that's jacked up. By the way.
For sure. If you're the general of the United States Army,
Joint Chiefs of Staff.
Yeah. Your job is to lethality, a word I've learned from Pete Hedspeth. All right. Lethality. All right. That is one. But it went back to that. And, Biden preemptively pardoned him. Now, here's what Milley said yesterday. He is deeply grateful.
Yeah.
All right. You know what? That is an admission of guilt. I am guilty as sin right here. Thank you, President Joe. Where's the hot
Who's
key?
the president, man? Who's the president? Byron.
Yeah. Now that he's not the president, we got to take off that who's the president part. I know. It's like we got it ready. So he asked me to. He's like, you want the who's the president? I was like, yeah. But he ain't the president no more. So it's just Byron.
I'll be glad we don't have to talk about him anymore. And we can just talk 24/7 about Trump.
Trump, making America great again. The president right here. Okay, but let me just go back to this. Milley. So, yeah, if he's telling China, his counterparts over there, hey, if President Trump tries anything, I'll give you a call beforehand. I'm going to help you out. That truly is treason. Now, I don't know if you're going to kill people for treason anymore. What's your thoughts on that now?
I am all for, I know we're going to jump the shark here just a little bit, but Nuremberg Trials 2.0, I'm ready to go.
Oh, so you're all for it, then I'm not with the brother on that. Shad, this guy with his conspiracies and his stuff, like his mind thinks differently than a brother's.
Well, hold on.
Okay, sir?
Everyone has lost the faith and trust in the government.
Yeah.
Why? Because there is no accountability.
Yeah.
Heck, I'll go one step further. There's no accountability in the Missouri Republican Party. To be a Republican, as long as you have a check, they'll cash it.
Oh, so you went there.
I'm going there. All right, I've been going there anyway. But it comes down to the government. You can do all of these things. Was anyone fired from Afghanistan withdrawal?
No.
They left $85 billion worth of stuff.
Yeah.
Even Trump talks about, Milley, that $85 billion is just easier to leave it than it is to take it.
No accountability.
Get it out the door. And so all these people, somewhere in here, you can make bad decisions and no, we won't hang you for anything like that. But when you do the nefarious things, there needs to be accountability. Where's the Benedict Arnolds or whatnot in the today's society?
Now I'm gonna go with you on this one. COVID. Did anybody get fired for the handling of COVID?
They got promotions.
Did anybody get fired for the assassination attempts?
They got promotions.
So I'm with you on accountability. There is no accountability. Like Joe Byron, when he had his what's Austin, who takes off.
Lloyd
Austin doesn't even tell anybody he's incapacitated. Did he get held accountable?
No.
Did Mayor Pete get held accountable for all the craziness on his watch and stuff?
Did they ever even go back to Ohio? Oh, Byron did a year later.
Did he go back?
He went a year later. He did. Trump was there right there almost immediately. But did they fix it?
Yeah.
No. Did they fix North Carolina? No. Did they fix Hawaii?
Maui?
No.
Yeah.
I mean, where's BlackRock in all this too? That's another story.
Well, yeah, that's
all right.
Well, they're always underlying in there. BlackRock is the people that are they're probably managing some of your money, some of yours and my money. But here, let me just say this though. I went back to this question because I'm with you. I want some accountability, but death.
If it's treason,
that's old school though. That's like when you betrayed. Look, Matthew, the producer Fred's back there going, well, I don't know.
I don't think we should go out and stone people for adultery or anything like that. But you know what? If you are totally against it's the law.
I would say in wartime, maybe. I don't know. I'm not there yet. I want you to be in jail though.
How many people died from COVID?
Yeah, but I don't want to kill people for that though. I guess.
If you're a mass murderer?
No, here's the point, though, because there's a difference between murderer and manslaughter. Like, I don't think, so for example, let me give you this. And he pardoned Fauci. Let's go there right now, because we were Millie. He's pardoning Anthony Fauci. Now, for Fauci making decisions like to say, oh, let's try to mask, or let's try this, let's try that, and he's using his best judgment, should he be murdered for that, thrown in jail? No, he was wrong. Now, that sucker was covering stuff up. He was having, but see, before you even say something like that, you got to tell about what you got to go into this. What Fauci was doing is he was working with this lab in China, the Wuhan lab. And it was for what he just said, this gain of function. That means it's like the biotesting, chemical warfare stuff. They're testing these viruses to see how they can weaponize them, basically. And we can't do that stuff in the United States. So what Fauci was doing was sending money and sending resources to this lab in Wuhan to test, and they were sharing these results and stuff like that with him. And then he all of a sudden just denies it. See, now that to me is jail time worthy. Because we have emails that he covered up, that he's like lying on voicemails and stuff, but then they push all that underneath the rug. See, that's jail time stuff.
Well, I know we say it came from the Wuhan lab now, the FBI and a few other places, but how did it actually get released? I mean, they've known about COVID since 1965.
No, it's been strange.
All right, I mean, it's around. I mean, even before
COVID-19, you're on the 19th strand of it.
But then when you also had Fauci out there saying that, before, President Trump is going to have to deal with a pandemic before it ever happened.
So now you're going down your route of conspiracy theories. Keep it going, though. I'm listening. Hey, listen, wait, let me just say this. I'm not always there with the brother, but I'm listening. Go ahead, brother.
Well, he's on my side now on the Trump assassination attempts, I think.
What's your side? What's your side on that one?
It's an inside job.
No.
You're almost there. You're just almost there.
I think it was just ignorance. I think it was just poor leadership.
So the elites, I mean, you have a culture that wants to depopulate the world. We are the carbon.
The New World Order.
We are the carbon that they want to reduce.
Yeah, I mean, there's no denying that you have some people that they've publicly said, there's clauses, and even like people like AOC, we got too many people, stop having babies, abort your babies, and they just think that we're overpopulated, and so they do.
So where is Fauci in there? Is he part of that? I mean, you go all the way back to AIDS, even. The AIDS research, I mean, Fauci, is he culpable for any of that part?
Is he culpable for the AIDS and the HDT, like the medicine they were giving the wrong medicine and stuff like that?
To the orphans in New York City, there's a whole bunch. Is Fauci, how many beagles did he kill? I mean, I'm not saying we should out him for the beagles, but was Fauci responsible for 7.7 million people around the world dying?
Okay, I can't go there. I can't say that he was.
Yeah.
Now, because here's the thing. No. Here's why I'm saying that. The decisions that Fauci made did lead to a lot of people dying, but it's not like he was. This is where I'm at with it. Like, he's not the only one who made those decisions, and he was advising presidents, first Trump and Biden and other world leaders. Now, so then you get down to the intent. But here's my point, though. I'm not down with this pardon because I do want an investigation. I want to know every email that he sent. I want to know every phone conversation. I want to see his logs. I want to know his journals. And when you do these preemptive pardons, you're trying to say, no matter, even if you do an investigation, no matter what you come up with, we're saying he's not guilty. So then basically they're going, so why even do the investigation? It's like they try to hide these things from us, which is another thing that Trump said. He's going to uncover the JFK tapes, the Martin Luther King tapes. He's saying, look, we're going to show the people the truth. I don't like it when our government hides those things. They say, don't even worry about an investigation. So yeah, we're going to hide this.
So that was 70 years. You know, we're roughly 50 years old. All right, that's been 70 years since JFK, RFK, MLK. Pfizer tried to hide their data for 70 years. So it's going to take 70 or 50. So it's going to take 50 plus years.
See, that's the kind of stuff where you conspiracy theories go. Like
Okay.
I'm with you with JFK, RFK, MLK, 70 years, and then he goes, and Pfizer's doing it for. That's where you guys lose me, you conspiracy theory people.
I'll have to pull it up for you.
I know you're going to pull it up. Somebody tweeted on this podcast.
No tweet.
Come on, man. I was with you, and then you just went left and lost the brother.
But it takes forever to actually find out the truth, and that's really where you're at. We won't know what really probably happened with Fauci in our lifetime. We'll be dead.
Well, because Biden just basically said no need to investigate, which is jacked up. That's like he should not have gotten pardoned. It's like this. It's like even though you know nothing was going to come out, like Hunter Biden wasn't going to ever go to jail. I knew he would never spend a day in jail. I still want the investigation because that shows the line of it. Because there's some people who are like, say, Democrats who are all in with it. Now they're going to say, well, there was no evidence. There was nothing ever shown because we didn't even start the investigation because you have some senators and Republican senators that go, well, there's no point now. Let's move on.
Let's move on. There you go.
And that's where you get jacked up.
Oh, it's awful.
And so I don't like that, but I also don't like the jump to, well, the conspiracy is this because they wanted to move on. There's some pragmatic Republicans that say, well, we know it's not going to do any good anyway, so let's do it. And I think that those people, now this is conspiracy, this is my purely irresponsible speculation. I think they do that because they know they have some dirt and junk in their closet that they don't want to cover too.
Oh, I'm sure. That would not be. I've actually said this on the air with you before. I wouldn't be surprised if 75% of Congress is compromised. I'm just saying.
I mean,
but we can go lots of places. But you know what? Now you have. So let's go to, Fauci. You have 27 Republican AGs. He may have been pardoned federally, but now the states can come in. The international can come in. There is no Fifth Amendment protection for Fauci anymore, or any of these people who have had their pardons. Those are things that are now. So the investigation. Well, I'm going to plead the Fifth. Well, you can't plead the Fifth because you can't actually be held accountable.
I think you can plead the Fifth, but I think they still can. I mean,
and then the other question is, do they have to accept the pardon?
They're begging for the pardons.
Okay, so begging for the pardons means what?
They're guilty.
Now
they're guilty. They're guilty.
If the shot was safe and effective, would Fauci need a pardon?
That's the thing. So like that's what made me go from the very beginning when the companies were saying, listen, we need protection. We don't want to be held accountable. We don't ever want to be sued ever for the trillions of dollars we're about ready to be made. Well, and that was jacked up to me. That's what made me, because when these companies, Pfizer, Johnson & Johnson, all of them were like, listen, we don't want to be sued. We need protections, federal government. If you want us to get this shot out, that's what they were trying to say. That's what made me go, nah, I don't think so. And Fauci hiding stuff, releasing, we don't know where the origin came from. They didn't even go back. Fauci didn't want anybody to talk about what happened in the 80s with, if you ever saw the movie, The Buyers Club, wasn't that what it's called?
The Virus Club?
The Dallas Buyers Club.
Oh.
The Dallas Buyers Club with McConaughey. That was the story of the people, the movie stars and the AIDS epidemic where they were all dying. Remember, I think Matthew McConaughey won like an Oscar or something.
I've never watched that movie.
Yeah, the Dallas Buyers Club. It was all about how the AIDS epidemic spread and so on and so forth. And then they had that drug. Is it AZT or ADZ or something? AZT, where the drug they would give to these people that were given AIDS and stuff, and it was basically speeding up them dying. That's the whole thing about Fauci. He was the one that was behind this drug saying, yeah, we think this drug's going to help save your life. And it would basically speed it up. And they were dying like within months and stuff. And so Fauci did it before because that was with Run Death is Near how do you say that drug? Remdesivir?
Oh,
or whatever?
remdesivir.
Yeah, remdesivir.
Oh yeah, I had a family member that went to a local hospital. There's only 2 big ones, and I said he was on the COVID floor, and I said, do not let them give you remdesivir, and do not let them put you on a vent, or we'll never see you again. And he's alive and well today. So, but
I got a cousin who her husband remdesivir, and then the incubator, and then he died. So I mean, it's sad. But so Fauci, it's frustrating that he gets a pardon, and Mark Milley, and then you look at the J6 committee members. What was so crazy about that is January 6th, they want to say it's an inside job from the very beginning. Trump himself is saying, listen, I told Nancy Pelosi you can have National Guard. We're hearing reports that there may be some, people that want to agitate. Nancy Pelosi like, nope, we don't want the National Guard because we don't want it to look like we're unsafe here in Washington, D.C. Mayor of D.C. is like, no, we don't need the National Guard. And then all of a sudden, when the crowd got out of control, there were some knuckleheads in the crowd that got out of control, a few of them. And they pushed through the police barriers. They didn't kill any police. I get tired of that whole narrative. There were 6 police officers killed on January 6th. Really?
No, only Ashley Babbitt.
She was the only one that died.
And Michael Byrd was the officer who shot her.
Okay, I didn't know the guy's name. But that narrative that these police officers were killed, no. Now, there were some people that pushed over stanchions or whatever. But here was the thing about January 6th. When Nancy Pelosi put together her committee, she only had 2 Republicans on there. Because remember, they were going to Jim Jordan saying, give us some Republicans. And he's going, we're not going with your shady sham stuff. Let's negotiate this. Well, they end up talking Liz Cheney and Adam Kinzinger into joining the committee, and they called it a bipartisan committee. And they only looked at some of the videos they wanted. They only let some of the footage get out. Adam Shifty Schiff was a big part of it, and it was the video footage that played their narrative. There were thousands upon thousands of hours of video footage that they never even looked at, that they tried to hide.
Oh, sure. There's a video out there right now. You can look it up on X. All right. By the way, you were talking about X and Twitter. Elon named his son X, by the way. So X is probably not going away. But there's a video out there where they had this guy handcuffed. They take him off into a little side area. They uncuff him, knuckle bump, whatever. Have a great day. He's gone.
So then remember this, for what? Almost 4 years. We're talking 3 years and 10 months. The FBI denies any involvement in it. Because remember, they were like, did you have any agents here? No, we did not have any agents here. Did you have any agents?
The wrong question.
No. Exactly.
You asked the wrong question.
Did you have any agents? No, we did not have any agents there.
Did we have confidential human sources?
I need to get back to you on that one. Remember, he said that for the first couple of times. Let me go and check on that one. And then come back in. Did you have confidential? Well, listen, let's just talk about that later. But can you give us the money for our new building? I mean, that's really. And then so finally, like in December, right before, oh, you know what? We finally found the answer. We did have 26 confidential informants. Now listen, we didn't tell them all to be there. We only told 6 of them to be there. A few others showed up on their own. We can't be responsible. But they didn't, none of them stormed the building. So
well, Clay Higgins, I believe that's his name. He's the congressman from Louisiana, former police officer. He puts the number closer to 200.
Did he?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, then. So we know that the FBI had confidential informants that were there. Some of them they told to be there after literally almost 4 years
They paid them to be there. Some of them.
Yeah, that's terrible. After literally like 4 years of saying, no, we didn't have anyone there. So we know that the FBI was used in inciting the crowd. This Ray Epps guy that people kept talking about, like, who's this guy? How come he hadn't been charged? I think they just charged him for a parking ticket or something like that.
Did they park?
I think they just charged him for something just to say, oh, we charged him, But so, was there part of this inside job? And so we all knew it. It's common sense. Now there were some knuckleheads that did some things, and some people probably should have spent some time in jail. But the punishment has to fit the crime. And when you're talking about dudes that were getting sentenced to 22 years in prison, that's just way too long.
And he wasn't even there.
The one dude, there's a couple of the Proud Boys.
Yeah.
One of them wasn't even there, who got sentenced to 22 years. A couple of them that were they're saying, well, we see on social media you were inciting the crowd. It's ridiculous. And then with all these people with their sham trials, they're like, well, we're done with it. We're destroying the evidence. We don't want you to see how we came to the conclusion that we did.
Right. I mean, that's a crime right there in itself.
It should be.
So the J6 committee, who has now been pardoned as long as they accept it, and, so prepping for this area, this segment, last night you had Adam Kinzinger and he was on MSDNC and CNN. The only reason to ask for a pardon is because you think you've committed a crime. All right?
That's what he said?
Yeah. And Jamie Raskin.
Wait, when did he say that? How long ago?
I don't remember the year.
Okay, so
I did not write down the year. I apologize.
Okay, no, that's good, though.
I don't have that one anywhere. Adam Schiff. Now, December 2020.
Shifty
with
Schiff.
Joy Reid. Oh, she's so joyful. On MSDNC. Have you ever heard of someone getting a preemptive pardon who is an innocent person? Adam Schiff. No. Today, Adam Schiff got pardoned. Then you have Jamie Raskin. Oh, he's a character all in itself. All right, this was on CNN. The seeking of pardons is a powerful demonstration of the consciousness of guilt, or at least the consciousness that you may be in trouble. All right, so these are the individuals who were on the committee who were all talking about Trump pardoning his family-ish in about the December 2020, on his way out the door after term 1. And they're all like, yeah, preemptive pardons? Yeah, that's wrong. And what do? They get it.
Even Biden was saying that. Like, it's a bad look.
I have Biden on there, too. Yeah, Biden, where was that one?
Because they thought Trump was going to try to pardon his family, and Trump didn't. Trump said, we did nothing wrong. And so, but a lot of Democrats are blasting him, saying it's just a bad look. What does this mean? What does it say? So you got, that was the start of the day overnight. And then the crazy thing is, we just got a couple minutes on this part. Literally, Trump says it was when his speech started. He was already left the rotundas before he could ever get the news that, Joe Biden actually just pardoned his whole family, like 12 or 13 of them. His brothers' wives, all these relatives that he was pardoning. That's crazy.
His sister,
yeah. She's like why? Because he knows they were all part of the Biden family crime syndicate, the pay to play. They were making money off of President Biden when he was a senator, when he's the vice president, and when he's the president being in office. We know it. We know that they were selling us out, that they were going over there offering secrets and access and exposure to our government, to the office of the president, whether it was senator, vice president, to make laws, to get people out of stuff. That's what they were doing. They were selling us out, we the people. And then now Joe Biden, who led the justice system over the last 4 years, says, well, we can't trust it. It's a corrupt justice system, so I need to just go ahead and pardon my family. They did nothing wrong, but I just need to pardon them because we don't know what this vindictive president, now Trump, is going to do.
Well, speaking of vindictive, who didn't get pardons? Nancy Pelosi.
Oh, he didn't like her.
Oh, she didn't get one. I mean, she was, again. Oh, by the way, not only did Biden tell Jake Tapper that, preemptive pardons is wrong, he also said he would not dictate policy by tweets. This is the person who, by the way, someone made the tweet for him, resigned via tweet from the campaign. All right, just FYI. But Nancy Pelosi helped push him out the door, and he's leaving her out there hanging to dry.
Why would she need a pardon? What did she do? Like, was there, other than her snake stock stuff, trading and stuff like that?
Oh, the stocks? Oh.
But I don't know that she did anything else like that. Like, was on the front line of stuff like that.
Why do you think that her daughter was there on January 6th doing a documentary? Is it a coincidence? Do you think Nancy Pelosi had anything to do?
Okay, so here's the thing. This is where these conspiracy theories go. They just ask a question like, is it as a... No, I'm not biting on that one. No. She was there doing a documentary because Nancy Pelosi is a public figure, has been for 99 years, and she wants to make some money.
We will find out.
No,
in 70 years, our great-grandkids will find out.
No.
Nancy Pelosi had something to do with J6 because it was all set up. You still don't know about the J6 pipe bomb either.
She made a bad mistake by not accepting the National Guard.
Well, for sure.
Arrogance.
100%.
But she wasn't part of a planning of it. No, I can't go there with you.
Okay.
No.
All right.
And this is going to be one of these where, conspiracy theorists, people, you guys never admit you're wrong. You just say, just wait 6 months. And then when it doesn't turn out the way you said it's going to be, then it's like, because wait, what's your record on conspiracy theories?
Wait, do you want me to pull it up?
Yeah, he's going to say he's like 100-0 or something crazy.
It's pretty big. All right. So hold on.
Wait, were you?
I got a doctor's appointment. Let me get past my meds this morning. All right.
You should have it. Like you used to tell me.
Oh, no. All right. So Hunter Biden's laptop.
No. Wait. Give me just the number. We know
Oh,
all
I don't know
those.
the number.
Exactly. We know
All
all
right.
those things, the conspiracy theories over there. But again, I'm not with you, but I'm listening. I'm listening. Conspiracy theorists. I will never dismiss you guys all the way. I'm just not there with you yet.
We're
I'm
throwing
not
the
there.
yet in there
I'm
because you
not
know what?
there.
He's coming along. You should have seen him on the assassinations when I first started dropping them. All right. Have you had any answers on that? Have they solved the Trump assassinations, all that stuff yet? Have you heard about that stuff yet? Or
Yeah. No. I'm still with that. That was just ignorance. Poor management. Yeah.
Awful.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. Now, there are some things that make me go, because like when you say this guy was communicating with Iran or whoever, that makes you go, And, were there some people that maybe, Lord, there was just a lot of, I'll give you some credence on, I'm listening, because there was a lot of things that make questions that were unanswered. And the fact that they don't come out with an answer, that makes you go, like these, the drones now, that's still, there's just like, what's going, like.
So yesterday, while Trump's signing papers,
I saw that.
Oh yeah, you know what? By the way, I wish those people would have shut up. All right, couldn't even get anything done because those people kept asking, those journalists kept asking those questions.
Trump loved it.
I know, but it wasn't the best anyway. But in that, oh yeah, can we, Miss Weiss, can we check on that? You know what? We may drop that later today.
So
whatever.
We'll see.
By the way, there's one more family member who didn't get a pardon.
Who?
Jill.
What'd she do?
She's part of the fam. She's
part of the Biden family.
You know what? I think she was more president than he was.
I know. She's probably like she's behind the scenes. I don't need to be, because I never pulled the trigger.
Yeah.
I just told people what to do. She's
like the Godfather. I've never watched that movie either.
You've never seen The Godfather?
No.
Are you an American?
I am
Take
American.
that hat off until you watch The Godfather. Make America great again by watching The Godfather parts 1, 2, 3, and even 4. So, hey, let's do this. That's my buddy Shad McGuire. Shad, it's been a pleasure having you on here. I always enjoy talking with you. You need to get your own show, my friend. You can do something about conspiracy theories.
And we could actually dive in a little deeper and really dig out the facts.
Not we, you.
Okay.
You. That's a show that I'll come on and be a guest every now and then to keep you sane, but that's something that you can and will do. You and Teresa over there at KWTO. I got a lot of other friends. My mom says, Al, I'm not a conspiracy theorist.
Hey, Teresa and I were communicating yesterday. We were talking about executive orders.
So there you go. Hey, let's do this. Shad, thanks for coming in, my guy. Get to your doctor's appointment. Hey, we got a lot more show ahead of us. We're going to get into the top stories of the day, and then we'll talk about what people are talking about. Did you see Carrie Underwood? Man, that was a class act.
She rocked it.
So what top stories of the day? That's next right here.
Top stories of the day.
Turn off the TV behind you. All right, here we go. Welcome back to Frontline Faith with Alex Bryant. Top stories of the day. Let me tell you, there's a couple of them that I want to see. First one is this: Trump securing the southern border just like he promised. Day one, the brother's already in office, and he's already taking executive orders to do that. Play this clip right here.
Restoration of America and the revolution of common sense. It's all about common sense. First, I will declare a national emergency at our southern border. illegal entry will immediately be halted, and we will begin the process of returning millions and millions of criminal aliens back to the places from which they came. We will reinstate my Remain in Mexico policy. I will end the practice of catch and release. And I will send troops to the southern border to repel the disastrous invasion of our country. Under the orders I signed today, we will also be designating the cartels as foreign terrorist organizations.
And you're like, hey, yeah, I like the way this guy's thinking. I like his thoughts on that. It's just common. And so, like, for example, the national border, it's common sense stuff. We've seen way too many people come into our country illegally, just walk in our country. First of all, Congress needs to act because they're the only ones that can officially change this law. Like, just because you step 2 feet into our country doesn't mean that you should be allowed to stay here. That doesn't make sense. People claim you have these NGOs. I've researched this extensively. They go down into South America, they got this thing called the Darien Gap. It's a 60-mile stretch of journey right after the Panama Canal where people have to go through, and that's the goal, the route to make them way into our country. There's countries down in South America that you can fly into that doesn't require a visa. So you got all these Chinese foreign nationals, these Afghan nationals, people from like 140 countries that go down to South America. They fly into this country that doesn't require a visa. I think it might be Ecuador. I'm not sure on that one. And then they make their way up through Ecuador, through Panama Canal, Colombia, and then to Mexico. Mexico's southern border is wide open because that's how they get a lot of commerce and enterprise. Anywhere from 10 to 15 million people have made this trek over the last 4 years. 10 to 15 million people walking through your country. They don't want to stay in your country, but they're going to buy your food. They're going to get water from you. You know, you're going to pay them the hotels or whatever it is. That's enterprise for Mexico. They're allowing these people to just come right on through because you got these street vendors that's selling them things, that's selling them items. And then they connect with the cartels who smuggle them across our border because they know the open sectors. They know how to manipulate our system. And that's what's happening. They know where we stop building the wall. Because remember when the Democrats, the first day of Trump's office, or the first day of Biden going in office 4 years ago, Biden said, we're stopping building this border wall. Why? Because it does not represent our values of America. That was so stupid. That was so stupid because now anyone can come in. There's gaps in the wall. There's spots where the wall was built, and Trump built about 500 miles of border wall. The wall would stop, and then people just walk right around the wall, come into our country. Once you step 2 feet in, you're here because the NGOs down in the Darien Gap, which from the NGOs, those are the non-governmental agencies, organizations. Those guys go down. It's humanitarian aid, NATO. They United Nations, they go down there and they set up tents and workspaces and water because they're like, well, if people are making their way, we want to make sure they don't die along the route. Want to make sure they got water. Want to make sure they got showers. They can communicate with their family members back home. So the United Nations, they set up these camps that help these people along the journey. Let me ask you something. Raise your hand if your taxes go to support United Nations. Yeah, all of us. Our taxes go. So our tax dollars are going to help support these people coming to our country illegally. Doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. And so what Trump's saying is we're stopping that mess. We're stopping it. Mexico's letting people come right in. They're bringing the cartels, and Trump's declared them terrorist organizations, because what they do is they're making money by sending people. They flood a sector. They send like 500, 1,000, maybe even 250 people to one sector, and they flood them in because they know that the Border Patrol are going to have to deal with them. They know the hours to send them over there. They know the shift for the Border Patrols. Sometimes they even let them know, hey, we got a caravan of 2,000 people coming. Be ready to accept them and receive them. So they flood them there, and then once all our resources, our Border Patrols are in that sector, then they go ahead and send drugs over the wall or through the wall or tunnel under. They're being smart. They know how to get their drugs through. So now fentanyl's coming through, and it's killing 200, 300,000 Americans every single year. Absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous that many Americans, your friends, my friends, our neighbors, are being killed by fentanyl. This synthetic drug that originates, the products come from China. China has these products where they don't put it together there, because in China, you can be killed. You can get the death sentence for dealing drugs. So the Chinese government, they don't allow these companies over there to put fentanyl together. But what they do is they send the agents over to Mexico, to the cartels. They send those ingredients over there. The Chinese government actually gives them kickbacks on taxes for getting these ingredients together. 2, 3, 4 ingredients they need. They ship that to Mexico. Then the cartels put it together, and then they send it across the border here. How stupid do we look? Wide open borders for people to do whatever they want to do to bring these drugs across to kill American citizens. Trump saying, no, this stuff's in. It's a national emergency declared at the southern border. All illegal entry will be halted and start to return people to where they came from. He's going to restore the remain in Mexico. That means that if you want to get asylum over here, you don't step into our country. That's illegal crossing. If you really truly want asylum, then you wait in Mexico while you apply for asylum, and then we'll let you know. But if you step foot over here and we catch you, you'll never get asylum. Because the rules of asylum is, if you're leaving Venezuela or Ecuador or Colombia because you're saying persecution, you're supposed to stop in the first safe country. Mexico's a safe country. They're not stopping there. So they're violating international laws and rules right there. Trump's saying we're ending this stuff. We're going to end the catch and release. That means if you see what happened under Obama, we used to have these detention facilities that could hold up to 1,000 people that would come across the border a day. And they would catch them. You'd go to this detention facility for 21 days. You'd run their fingerprint. You'd make sure they're not, a criminal in their country. If they were, you'd deport them. Because remember, Obama, they called him the deporter in chief because he deported like 3 million people. We'd catch them. You'd take them to the detention facilities, and you'd have 21 days to figure out if they get asylum or not. Well, the cases got so backed up, so many people are flooding across that, and this started to even happen under Trump. This is why Trump said, we got a crisis down here. People were starting to flood here because they knew that we didn't have a border wall. And so you'd have 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. I remember one time hearing a caravan of 10,000 people coming across our southern border. You can't put all those in detention facilities. So what they started to do was hold them, or they just process them, and then they'd give them a court date saying, hey, appear back 3, 4, 5 years from now. Come back for court. And then there's reports that up to 90% of these people never make it back for their court appearance. They're just here. They're in our country illegally. So Trump said, we're ending that catch and release. First of all, remain in Mexico. But if you do come across here, if we catch you, we're going to take you back to our detention facilities and hold you there for 21 days. And then we'll deport you straight from there. We won't release you into our country. He says we're going to put military troops to secure the border. Until the wall's built, military is going to help out. The drug cartels, designated as terrorist groups. War against foreign gangs. He's going to end birthright citizenship. What's that? So let's just say you have 2 foreigners that come across illegally. The woman might be 4 months pregnant when she comes across. So they're here illegally. They're not U.S. citizens. But as soon as you have a child in the United States, that child's a citizen. So now that child's a citizen. So when you get around to the asylum hearing for the mom 3 years later, they declare, nope, you don't have a valid claim, but you got a 2-year-old here. Well, I need to stay here to take care of my 2-year-old because we can't deport an American citizen. Okay, yeah, well, we'll go ahead and make you, we'll fast track you. Now you can become an American citizen. Well, I need my husband here. He's the one that works. Well, then, okay, we'll let him stay here too. Well, he's got an elderly grandmother, mom, that he takes care of back in Venezuela. We need her here. Okay, well, she can come too. Well, she takes care of two nephews because their parents died, so we need to bring, okay, they can come too. that's birthright citizenship and then chain link migration. And you see how some people would go, well, it just makes sense. I mean, you can't split up a family. That's not right. Stupid laws, because stupid politicians allow this stuff to happen. So Trump talks about all this stuff. He's going to secure the border just like he promised. He's going to continue to build the wall. That's what we need. So yeah, then he goes in to address the illegal gang situation. I'm going to play a little bit more of this clip that I gave there a little bit. Frizz, go ahead and play the rest of this clip.
And by invoking the Alien Enemies Act of 1798, I will direct our government to use the full and immense power of federal and state law enforcement to eliminate the presence of all foreign gangs and criminal networks, bringing devastating crime to U.S. soil, including our cities and inner cities. As Commander-in-Chief, I have no higher responsibility than to defend our country from threats and invasions, and that is exactly what I am going to do. We will do it at a level that nobody's ever seen before. Today I will...
So there you go. That's Trump. He's talking about how he'll use the law and the military to end and get rid of this illegal immigrant gangs, these gangs that are terrorizing our country. I remember the first time we saw the video of these gangs in Aurora, Colorado, that were going in an apartment building, like a movie, like they're in New Jack City or something, taking over apartment complex and just terrorizing people. Pay us money you go us, or we're going to kill you. Guns all throughout the apartment complex. Like, don't they realize that people got Ring doorbell cameras and everything now? They ain't scared. They're like, what are you going to do? We're here. Trende Aragua. I'll be doing ministry in March in Denver, Colorado. I look forward to going there. I'm going to be partnering with the Denver Dream Center. We're going to do jail ministry, prison ministry. I'm going to go to some of these places. I want to see it with my own eyes. I want to see the issues, the problems. I go to Chicago about 3 or 4 times a year to do ministry there. And I see the gang problems. I see this stuff. I hear them talking about the illegal immigration problem. I partner with the Chicago Dream Center. And you can see the residents in Chicago, they're giving away all of our benefits that should go to our kids, our youth, giving away to these illegal immigrants. And so Trump's talking about how he's going to use the law and the military to get rid of these illegal criminal immigrant gangs because they come here and you can't work right away. So why are we opening up the door to let 10, 12, 15, 20 million people in our country? They're not going to be able to get, all of them are going to be able to get jobs right away. So it's just a disaster waiting to happen. It doesn't make sense. And this is common sense stuff because these people shouldn't have been allowed to come here in the first place. And Trump is going to take care of that. He's going to put an end to the southern border illegal immigration stuff that's happening there. Here's the second top story, okay? This one's an interesting one. Trump says the Gulf of Mexico will now be renamed to the Gulf of America. Play this clip real fast.
The Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America, which has a beautiful ring that covers a lot of territory. The Gulf of America, what a beautiful name. And it's appropriate. It's appropriate. We're going to...
Okay, here's the deal. Put me on this one. I want you guys to see this one right here. Here's the deal, people. Trump knows that we're playing chess, not checkers. See, most people would look at that and they try to make fun of Trump. Like, how stupid is he? Why does he want to rename, the Gulf of Mexico? It's been that forever. Ha ha. And the liberals are going, they don't understand that this dude's thinking on a different level than we are. Now, here's the reality. Biden put a ban on drilling for oil in the Gulf of Mexico. On January 6, 2025, this is one of the last things that he did. This is just a couple weeks ago. President Biden invoked Section 12A of the Outer Continental Shields Lands Act. It's called OCSLA. And it was to take an executive action prohibiting new oil and gas leases in a lot of the vast offshore areas. Now, President Biden cited that environmental and economic risks they're associated with offshore drilling. They don't want to drill for oil in other countries, particularly the threat to coastal communities, marine ecosystems, and local economies relying on fishing, tourism, and reaction. So they're basically saying we want to save the schmelt. That's why I didn't have that's why I didn't have water in the reservoirs in California. So all these houses burned down. But they want to save the turtles. Don't drink through plastic straws. Save the whale. Save whoever. So all these environmental concerns, because Greta Thunberg is out protesting, this little 13-year-old girl, and all this crazy stuff. And so, these environmentals, they get in with with Byron, because all these old Bernie bros staffers that work for Byron. So they come up with this. They look at the laws. Section 12A of the Outer Continental Shields Lands Act. It also bans, this ban covers more than 625 million acres they can't drill for, representing the largest withdrawal in U.S. history of land that you can't drill for oil on. Now, the entire U.S. East Coast, see, they're trying to get you guys in Pennsylvania too. Remember all the fracking stuff? They don't want you to go off the East Coast. They don't want you to drill. You couldn't drill there. This is what on January 6th, see, this is what Biden did. He invoked Section 12A of the Outer Continental Shelf Lands Act. So they couldn't drill off the East Coast from Canada to the southern tip of Florida and the eastern Gulf of Mexico. It's totaling approximately 334 million acres. You couldn't drill for oil, the Gulf of Mexico. So if Trump changed the name from the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America, we can drill in the Gulf of America, right? See, Trump's playing chess, not checkers. And all these little goofy suckers on TikTok, how stupid is he? Why is he going to change the name from Gulf of, that's just stupid. That doesn't make sense. This joker is outsmarting you suckers once again. He's playing chess, and you jokers think you just do, well, okay, let's fight over, can we double jump backwards? This ain't how you play checkers. He's playing chess on you suckers, and they don't even notice it yet. The dude's a baller. Look, wait, put it back over here because I want you to see. That's right, DJT. That's why he's on the wall right here, because DJT is playing chess, and the rest of these jokers are playing checkers on it. So that's why, that's the deal with the Gulf of America now. Gulf of America. And he's already got Florida down on it. You got the governor down there, DeSantis, who's already like, yeah, we're already going to start to call it that. Because this is why, and it's because our gas prices. You guys notice that gas jumped up 20 more cents overnight? What's up with that? When gas going to get back down to $1.25 is a fair price for gas. I mean, I think everybody can make money, tax can be paid. We pay $1.25 a gallon. Let it be written. Let it be done. That's all I need to pay. I don't have to go to Sam's Club to save 30 cents. I don't have to go to Walmart during the hours of this and when you get the cheap time. I want to be able to go to any gas station and pay $1.25 for gas. That's fair. Suckers. All right, here's another one. We mentioned this before, and so, but it is one of our top news stories of the day. President Biden pardoning his siblings and their spouses. This dude is crooked. He's shady. He issued these preemptive pardons for his family members. It includes his brother, James Biden, his sister, Sarah Biden, sister's husband, Valerie Biden, Owens, and John T. Owens, and his brother Francis Biden. Why has he got to pardon all these people? Because he knows they've all made money off of the secrets that are being sold to these other countries. Remember when Biden got up and he bragged that, hey, I told that, they better fire that prosecutor or else you're not going to get the $1 billion of aid, our foreign aid money that Obama was saying they could have over there in Ukraine. And he goes, so I told him, I'm being here for 6 hours. You better fire him or else you're not going to get this aid, $1 billion. He held our money hostage so that his family can get rich off these foreign deals because that prosecutor was prosecuting a company called Burisma. His son was on the board of Burisma. So his son tells him, Dad, can you do this? Can you help us out? Can you get these guys off our back? It's an energy company in Ukraine. Shady stuff. And Biden's pardoning all these people. Why? Because he doesn't want us to get down to the nitty gritty. One of these days, I hope to get Congressman Jason Smith on, because I've talked to him about this stuff in depth. I hope to have him on, and I want to go into details because he knows things about this, about the investigation that were to come, things that we don't know. Now they're hoping to say that the story just goes away because they've been pardoned. Absolutely shady, absolutely ridiculousness, what they're doing here. Biden had family members like grandkids that got money from other countries. Grandkids, like that's just that's hiding money. Like what kind of, and what products did they sell? Like what are they selling to get this money from these other countries? There are literally, you follow the reports. I remember talking to Congressman Burleson, our very own congressman here from the 7th District in Missouri, and he's like, we need to follow the insurance payout money because that's where you can hide money at. When you write these life insurance policies and stuff for people, follow that money because you can hide money and stuff like that. And but they're just shady. The Bidens were enriching themselves, and he has been for nearly 5 decades, since the 70s, when he was a state rep, a representative, a congressman, a senator, vice president. This dude has been selling our state secrets to other countries, to other companies to get rich. That's what he's been doing. And we look like the fools. We're the ones who've been getting sold out on this. It's not right. This is what Joe Byron's doing, and his family's getting rich. His brother James, he was the front man for a lot of this stuff. His son Hunter. Again, Profiles in Corruptions by Peter Schweitzer. He gives great detail on that. So, hey, that's the deal there. Let's keep this thing moving on. We got like some top little stories that people are talking about. Or wait, what's the name of that segment here? I gotta make sure I get our segment names.
What people
here.
are talking about.
What people are talking about. This is what I want to do. We have, I've told you this before, and get ready to play the 417 when I call for this. But 417, they house us here. It is, it's a platform that houses the show Frontline Faith with Alex Bryant. It's the studios. Will Worsham, he just snuck back in here. He's our studio audience. Will, you got a couple minutes? Maybe I want to bring you up here. We'll get this over here. We'll get you on here. Wait, So Will, I'm gonna bring you up in the chair over here like we did. Bring yours. You come over so people can see you. Yeah. So, but Will is like, he runs this place. Let me slide over a little bit. We're gonna. This is what we're gonna do. We'll get it situated. Let's do the 417. We'll do our what people are talking about. We'll bring Will in because you got some news that you kind of announced a little bit, I think last week, and so we'll do that. So here we go. Play this.
What people are talking about.
All right, welcome back to Frontline Faith with Pastor Alex Bryant. We got Will Worsham. Dude, the show just got a little bit less good looking.
Yeah, it really did. Yeah, I didn't dress really for TV today, to be honest. Here, I got my biker jacket on because this is the warmest coat I have.
But aren't you you're like the lawyer that doesn't wear like?
I am the lawyer without a suit. Yeah.
So do you not have a suit at all though?
I have a suit because every once in a while we got to go to a funeral or something like that. So.
But there's nothing like that when you go to court, don't you have to wear a tie?
I don't go to court anymore. That's kind of the whole deal. Is I did courtroom practice as a criminal defense attorney, criminal justice guy for 25 years, and I decided I didn't want to do that anymore. And so
you just never have to go to court?
I won't. I don't take cases if anybody's fussing anymore. So I've got a lot of great lawyer friends, and I'm happy to give referrals for people that need that. But my criminal practice, MissouriTrafficTickets.com, I sold that. Okay. And I just do estate planning and help people with their businesses, and I can do it all in my office, and I get to wear T-shirts and blue jeans.
That's how you roll. Okay, but I got another question. I want to talk about your estate planning thing because I went to your seminar. It was really good.
Thank you.
But let me say this. But wait, you're a judge though too, aren't you?
Yeah.
So you just wear the robe?
I wear the robe. I just put, I got put the robe on over that.
So the judge, I'm going to court and you're not even wearing a tie underneath?
Oh, no. Yeah, I'm just a municipal judge. We're the lowest level judges around here, and nobody cares too much about what we do. But,
that's how you roll.
Yeah.
Okay, so I went to. Last week, was it? You do your estate planning?
Yeah,
tell us about what you do with this estate planning stuff.
Yeah, when I got out of the courtroom practice and was looking for something else to do, wanted to do some things really that I thought would help people. We thought that estate planning was maybe not being well served. A lot of people didn't have access to it. They didn't know what to do. So I dived headlong into that, and one of the first things I found was that people just need kind of a low barrier of entry to get in, maybe test the waters without sitting in some lawyer's office behind a desk with a big suit on, right? So we started doing these estate planning workshops for free. People can come. I talk for an hour, hour and a half, depending on the interaction with the crowd, and just try to answer some basic questions and kind of give people some confidence that, estate planning doesn't have to be scary. It's something that we all need to do because there's an eventuality. And given them well over several hundred times, I've lost count how many times we've done these, but really like helping people. And then, come in and let us help with our estate plan. And we do the full service and get people into a plan that they can be successful with.
There's a couple of takeaways I had because, first of all, you said it, nobody wants to talk about when you're going to die. I mean, that's just
right.
Like, you don't want to talk about that. But you're just like, hey, it's the eventuality. It's going to happen.
It's going to happen.
Might as well be ready.
Death and taxes, and we're going to see if we can do something about taxes, right?
Yeah, we need to do something about that for sure. But then, there's a couple things that, okay, so my wife and I, we have 5 kids. Mm-hmm. 3 of them are still in our home. And, I travel. I'm on the road 40 weekends out of the year. My wife a lot of times goes with me. What happens if we get into an accident?
Yeah, that's actually one of the big gaps that we're really worried about. It's really kind of on our heart as affirmative practice is what happens to those minor children when their parents aren't around anymore. The law says that the parents are the legal guardians of those kids and nobody else. So when something happens to the parents, either they're disabled or passed away, they meet the wrong car coming home from a date night or something, those kids are going to go to Child Protective Services, even if there's a grandparent standing by ready to take them.
See, that one hit me because, again, my wife and I, we travel a lot of times together.
Yeah.
I'm driving back places late at night, sleepy. I still have my number 3 son just turned 18, but I got 2 of them that are like 16 and 15 that I'm thinking, my mom would obviously take them. She lives here in town.
Yeah.
But
she can eventually, but that's a probate court process. So
that's crazy.
Mom's going to have to go to ask a probate judge to be appointed guardian, and those kids are going to be probably in foster care while that's pending, unless we do some planning. And
you do something free about that, though.
We do. I put up a website because I love building websites. It's just an easy access to people. It's at MPP. That stands for Minor Protection Plan. MikePapa.willworsham.com. That's my name. WILLWORSHAM.com. It's just an online form. Parents of minor children can fill that out, and it'll charge you $50 at the end of that, and then that's our fee for putting the documents together and doing the signing and getting them all prepared. But for your listeners here and basically anybody else I can get a hold of, we have a discount code. It's FULLDOWN, FULLDOWN. You put that in at the payment piece of that, and it makes it free, 100% free, no charge at all to do those documents, to make sure those kids are with the people you want them to be as soon as they never have to go into that Child Protective Services.
That was crazy because people don't think about that. You don't want to think about that. If you got little kids, you need to be thinking about that. Like, what happens? I mean, it's inevitable, but what happens if both of you die? Your kids, you don't want them like in foster care, not even for a day, not even for a night. You want to have a plan together, and this will give you the free access to that.
Yeah, and to be clear, we love our foster parents. They do a wonderful service for our community and our society. But if we've got grandpa and grandma, aunt and uncle, older brother and sister, that's where we really want our kids to be. Yeah. People that know them and love them rather than with strangers. It's just better for the kids' mental health.
Well, another thing, and I probably want to have you in another time and just really dive into this stuff, because you were telling me stuff about trusts and living wills and the difference on all that. So I was like, okay, my mind was blown. Like, I don't have a lot of resources. I'm a pastor, but I am starting to get to that age in life where I'm 50 now, and vehicles or rental home or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, where you don't want your stuff just held up by the government paying taxes we don't need.
Right.
To.
Well, and really, you don't want to leave a mess for the people that you've left behind. And that's what one of the gaps we see is people that are like, well, I have a lot of stuff. I really don't need to do an estate plan, but something happens to them and somebody's got to deal with the house, deal with the rent, deal with the car. There may be a bank account here or there. Somebody's got to deal with that. And if we don't have the tools in place, that can be a complicated and expensive process that we just don't need to leave a mess for somebody.
Well, I didn't mean to talk about all that stuff, but it was interesting to me because I sat through your seminar. You do a good job. It's like an hour and 15 minutes. It seemed like it's faster. You're kind of a funny guy. Not only are you funny looking, but you're kind of a funny. You kept it interesting.
Well, we try.
You had a big old stack of money you didn't never let me touch.
Yeah, well, it's in the other room. It's in the classroom. You can come fondle it if you want.
It was fake money, by the way. I just want you to know that. Don't be trying to make it over here. But you put together this great studio. You invited us to come over here and see it. You got a lot going on. I want people to come out and see the studio. It's pretty cool out here.
Yeah.
You also do the morning waffle.
We do.
Show that you guys do. What's the morning waffle about?
It's almost like Seinfeld. It's about nothing. We literally don't script that show.
Nothing.
So we just, nothing. We have 3 of us that have the gift of gab, Pastor Chris Ballard and Lauren Brooke, a local realtor here in Rogersville. We just show up every Tuesday morning and we just start talking.
You say, what are we going to talk about?
We don't even say what we're going to talk about. We just, I look at my son when he produces that show and I go, well, let's roll it. And he rolls the camera and in that little 10 seconds, I come up with some sort of little stinger to promote the show, and we roll our intro, and then we just go for 45 minutes. And we'll start our 5th season of that here in March. And we just have not yet run out of things to talk about. Of course, we love our town, we love our community, we love talking about Rogersville, we love talking about the Ozarks, we love talking about 417 land. So there's always plenty to talk about.
Okay, so I want to talk about, you're a busy guy, you're adding more stuff to your plate, but Planet 417, give our people the gist behind that, because you're housing and hosting our show,
Right.
Frontline Faith with Alex Bryant. We got some plans for other programming that we want to be bringing to you down the road and stuff, but what's the deal with that?
Well, this whole thing started as an accident during COVID. We just wanted something to do, and so we started doing this. But over time, it kind of grew. I had purchased a domain name back in 2011 and didn't really know what I was going to do with it. It was planet417.com. I just thought it was a great domain name, and I bought it. And then sort of everything kind of came together, and we said, we can produce local media for local people. We want to speak to the Ozarks. We want to speak about the Ozarks, to the Ozarks, and to the rest of the country and the rest of the world. And, to my way of thinking, we get so much garbage. I'm just going to call it what it is, garbage that comes in from the coast, the East Coast, the Hollywoods, the New York, and those big corporate studios that have a clearly leftist lean. They don't reflect Ozarks values. And I think Planet 417 can be just kind of this beacon of what it means to have good traditional Midwest values, promote our values, what we believe, focus on local news. So much of even what we see from our local news stations is national news. It has that national influence. And this is just a voice for the Ozarks to be able to promote the Ozarks and reflect our values in that. Good. And so we're thrilled to have you here.
Well, we got big plans when we started talking and thinking about what could be and maybe down the road. And I'm excited about it. Just, this is one of the first offerings, Frontline Faith with Pastor Alex. And but then so the app, there's an app where people can listen, because that's the biggest thing. Like people on my Facebook that might listen, our YouTube and stuff. Tell us about this app, because they can listen wherever they are. Yeah,
we were actually able to produce an app. You can get it on your phone, iPhone, Android. You can get it on Apple TV, Roku device, Amazon Fire Stick, any of those kind of streaming platforms. You can download the Planet 417 app. And in that app, when everything's working right, then if there's a live show, it'll pop up, it'll show live. And then we also have that video on demand. So you can look back at all of our past shows that we've got stored on there. So there's 2 or 3 years of Morning Waffle on there. We've got a channel, if it's not up already, it will be soon, of Frontline Faith, where people can look at your older shows, go back and review those things. And if they can't catch them live, they're always going to be on that platform, easy to find that way. Yeah.
And then, so if you're not busy enough, you're a lawyer, you're a husband, a father, business, owner here, podcast host, show, and then you decided you're just not busy enough, so you got a new endeavor that you just announced.
Yeah, so I decided our state rep here in Webster County, the 129th, John Black, he's term limited out at the end of this term, and kind of decided to throw my hat in the ring. As I told Randy Tobler the other day, I reserve the right to regret this decision at any point in the future.
I'm gonna tell you this: running for office, for me, it was fun. It's a high. It's like but like, dude, you're a lawyer. You can go in there and do all the laws and sit there and like all the minutia. That'd be like, when I was running for Congress, I was like, that'd be the only thing. Do I really want to do that crazy part? Because it would drive me crazy sitting in a room and just, when somebody's filibustering or doing something stupid like that, I'd be like, nah, let's get down to this stuff. So you're ready to do it. You're ready to serve then.
Yeah, I'm ready to serve. And I think that's really what it comes down to is, this Webster County, Southwest Missouri as a whole has been great to me. And, I'm 53. My kids are out of the home. I don't have to, go to the ball games and the kids' events anymore. So it gives me the ability to kind of give back and serve a little bit. And I'm excited about the opportunity to do that.
Well, there you go. So Will Worsham, and your big mugs over some billboards around here. People are going to get to know you.
Yeah, fortunately, those are coming down, some of those, so you won't have to see that on Highway 60 anymore. I'm keeping them the ones at 125, though, because that's...
the show. You're running it. That's awesome, man. But you're running for state rep here. And what's the district?
It's a 129th, and my website for that is worshamformo.com, WORSHAMFORMO.com. So find out more about kind of what I'm about, if you don't already know, on that website. You can even click a little donation link. And I'm not looking for a lot of money, but I am looking for a lot of names.
Okay. So that's big right there because it's about the votes. Let's look at the area here. It's Rogersville. How far north is that?
Yeah, it's almost all of Webster County. It's just Webster County, and it's all of it except just the northeast corner. So that gets you Rogersville, Diggins, Seymour, Marshfield, Niangua, and Elkland.
There you go.
Are kind of our towns.
So if you're in Webster County, Will Worsham, he wants to be your state rep. Your rep is term limited out, and so you running as a conservative Republican. I'm going to say
absolutely.
So you got. Did you see we put the Trumpster over here?
I did. Yeah, I saw you move my picture over here. I'm thrilled. No, I'm thrilled that you did that. That's great. Yeah.
We had to get our little Trumpster over here. It's Inauguration Day. So yeah, conservative Republican, Christian man, community member, family guy, lawyer. He's just a good dude, all around good dude. And man, you want to vote for him. The primary is coming up in April.
August of 26. Actually, we've got plenty of time.
Oh, it's August of 26.
Yeah, I'm way out in front on this. I'm way out in front on this.
Okay, then there you go. I was thinking the primary was happening over here. So yeah, okay. So you got to, now. Is this area, will there be a Democrat that runs, or is this a pretty much?
There might be a Democrat, but we've not elected a Democrat to anything other than maybe a tax collector position in I can't remember.
There you go.
In Webster County.
Well, Will, thank you, my friend. I appreciate you, and good luck with all that stuff, man.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for letting us be here.
Glad to be here.
So that's Will Worsham. I got some other front stories. You can stick around if you want to, but I'm going to give you some stuff that people are talking about.
I'm going to go have lunch with my son.
Go do it.
So
go have lunch.
Thanks, Alex.
Thanks for being here. All right, so here's some stuff that people are talking about. So let me go on this. There was a game last night. I don't know if you caught that or not. There's a big game. You know, the crazy thing, it was the national championship game, the football national championship game. The crazy thing is, I don't think that people paid attention. I really don't. I mean, you had inauguration stuff all day. I tried to click over once and saw it like right before half. It was 21-7. I thought, okay, well, Ohio State's handling this. And then, I was like, oh, let me see what's happening. I was going to toggle back to the game, but then I got interested in watching some Trump stuff. But Ohio State ended up winning that game. They beat Notre Dame 34-23. Now, I'm going to tell you this. Ohio State, put this graphic up. I want people to see this. They had a good end of the year. Ohio State did. They knocked off a lot of top teams. Now, I can remember their coach, Ryan Day, people were low on him because he lost to Michigan early on, and Michigan beat him. And they're like, we're tired of this guy. They're talking about firing him. Fritz, you remember this, don't you?
I don't pay much attention to the college,
but
I will say this. Anytime Michigan does beat Ohio State, you're not going to have a lot of happy Ohio State fans. I'll say that much.
And this is the fourth year in a row that Michigan beat Ohio State. But you got to look at this. They went on to beat – here's where Ohio State, their run here. And the new playoff system, they're at 12 teams, so they played a lot of these top people. They end up knocking off – what's that? 6 of the top 8 people, and they are one of the top 8. So 6 of the 7 that Ohio State end up beating on their run down here. They beat Oregon, the number 1 team that was ranked, 41-21. They beat the number 3 team, Texas, 28-14. They beat Penn State 20-13. They beat Notre Dame national championship game 34-23. They beat number 7 Tennessee 42-17, and Indiana 38-15. So, they had a good little run there. Congratulations. I like Notre Dame, like what they were doing, but congratulations, Ohio State, national champs. Let's look at what else people are talking about. Trump declares in America there are only 2 genders, male and female.
Policy of the United States government that there are only 2 genders, male and female.
There it is. Like Frizz is back there. He's like shaking his head. He gets all upset when he doesn't get it.
Doing it again, yes.
It's only a part of the screen. That's okay. But you heard it. Trump's declared. People said this when he made that announcement. The place went crazy because that was at the arena. They were watching it. That was during his inauguration. Because it's common sense stuff. My kids were talking about this. We're talking my kids that are in high school, male and female. It makes it simple, makes it easy. Now, you got people on the left like AOC that are up in arms. Oh my goodness, what about the trans kid? First of all, transgender makes up about 3%, anywhere they say from 1 to 3% of the United States population. So transgender children, they're estimating, they don't know the numbers, less than 1% of people. We make all these laws. You ask everybody else to check their brain at the door just so that you can placate less than 1% of the population, which are kids. Kids, if they come up to you, if a little boy comes up to you when he's 15 and says, hey, I think I'm a little girl, you should deal with it old school. Well, you're not. Now go play with this football and shut up. I mean, like we let these people, you can do whatever you want to do. You can be whatever you can be. That's just stupid. Look where it took us to. You can't be whatever you want to be. Boys are boys, girls are girls. And you got these children that are cutting off their body parts because we start to play these little stupid reindeer games. And so Trump is saying, listen, in the United States, as long as I'm president, there's 2 genders, male and female. That is the way that it should be. His executive order establishes government-wide that the biological reality of 2 sexes, and it clearly defines male and female. That's important. All radical gender ideology, guidance, communication, policies, and forms are removed. We don't need all that. The kids don't need all that. We don't need that radical gender ideology nonsense and stuff. Agencies will cease pretending that men can be women and women can be men when enforcing laws that protect against self-discrimination. Stop and think about where this could have gone. Like, what if it goes to your driver, like a man who says, well, I identify as a woman, and AOC doesn't want you checking people's genders. They're saying, well, if a man says that he's a woman, think about this. Now, this is hypothetically, okay? You could have a dude go and rob a bank, right? And to change his identity, he can start, well, I identify as a woman, gets his birth certificate or gets his driver's license changed if you let this stuff go on that far. And then once he gets picked up, no, I am not a man that fits your description. I am a woman. Look what my driver's license says. And then like just the stuff of dudes invading women's locker rooms and spaces. I played a lot of sports growing up. And I mean, I think it's different for guys and for girls. I don't know. I've never been in a girl's locker room when they're changing. But I mean, dudes, we're a little bit more open with stuff. I mean, I can't imagine like I could imagine a girl coming into our locker room. I mean, like, man, no, you're taking a shower. You come from the shower to, your locker. You're getting changed. You're getting dressed. Can you imagine a dude being in a girl's locker room? Just the privacy that women need and stuff like that. Just it throws out all common sense. It's even a level of perversion. It shouldn't happen. Why did we even put some of our young girls in this girls like Riley Gaines who are swimmers who are like, I either had to change in front of this dude who had his body part still there, this swimmer. Remember when Riley Gaines was swimming? They said he had his full genitalia there. He had his penis that was still there, tucking it in his swimsuit, and they either have to change in front of him, or she said some of the swimmers would go to the closet and change in the janitor's closet. How does that make sense? How does it make sense? So, and then you got these people where Ketanji Brown was saying, hey, can you define a woman? No, I can't define a woman. Well, I'm not, that's above my pay grade. And so he's defining it. Women means an adult human female. That's what a woman is. So this executive order, it directs that government identification, like passports and personal records, will reflect biological reality and not self-assessed gender identity. So it's not what you identify as, it's what you were born as. If you're a male, you're a male. If you're a female, you're a female. We're not playing the reindeer games anymore. That's what they're saying. So here's another one. Something else that people are talking about, the performance by Carrie Underwood at the inauguration. I don't know if you saw this or not, but the inauguration, Carrie Underwood, she's escorted out. She's supposed to sing America the Beautiful, and she gets out there and the track, she's supposed to sing with the Army band, or choir and the track messes up and it's awkward. And now listen, I was a church soloist growing up. I know what it's like back in the 90s and the early 2000s when you were depending on your track to start and the technical person back there is messing up. And not you, Frizz, but they're back there, you're waiting for that track to start. And it's like you don't want there to be dead time. So you're sitting there smiling because you're giving them a chance to do their thing. 5 seconds goes by, 10 seconds. Then maybe you might have to say something like, oh, hey, well, how's everybody doing? And you're waiting for them to try to see, are they going to like get it there? And they're giving you signs like, no, whatever. So, I mean, it was awkward there. They're switching over to Trump, seeing what's going to happen there. And so finally, Carrie Underwood, the track didn't work. So she had to sing it by herself. Let me just show you a clip. I'm going to play you so you can hear how beautiful it was because she knocked it out of the park. It's what people are talking about.
You know the words, help me out here. Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountain majesties above the fruited plain. America, America, God shed his grace on thee and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea.
How impressive is that? I mean, you're waiting for the track, you're waiting to sing with the choir there, and they're like, it ain't gonna work. She's like, hey, just let's go with it. I'll do it. And just bam, bust it out a cappella. That's impressive. People are talking about it. She did a great job on that. And then just being American Patriot, she took a lot of heat because people are like, she's supposed to be Democrat, leftist, and they're like, why are you going over there to perform? There's so many people that took flack for performing. Nelly, the hip hop artist, even Snoop Dogg was at one of the inauguration balls, and they're like, I don't care what y'all say. I mean, it's crazy how the left thinks they control all of Hollywood, all the performers, and not supposed to go and perform. Well, Carrie Underwood, not only was she there, but she knocked it out of the park. So here's another thing that people are talking about, and that's the last one I'll talk about. Frizz, my guy, did you watch some NFL football this weekend?
Man, I watched too much of it. But you know what? I guess you can't say that nowadays.
Yeah.
You cannot say that, especially in January, because you can't have enough football because, believe it or not, Alex, there's only 3 games left in the NFL season.
Yeah.
The championship and then the Super Bowl.
Here's something I noticed. Like, did you see, like, wait, which camera are you looking at now? Because your camera was off.
At the webcam that is right here.
Okay, yeah, that was off a little bit. You got to get you a little bit, there you go. You got to get you a little bit more squared when you're talking, Frizz. People got to see your little, well, you're not a good looking guy
I got to,
either.
be here. And then
see, like, right there.
Here, and then I got, all this stuff right here. Yeah, it's
we got
it's a work in progress.
It's a work in progress. So, but yeah, I watched a lot of football games. I watched several games this past weekend. I was shocked when the Lions got beat. I mean, but then, they didn't. I mean, they were behind from the beginning. You playing from behind. I was shocked.
I was really shocked at the play of Jared Goff and the fact that the Lions had 5 turnovers.
Yeah.
But the bad defense and the injuries for the Lions just finally caught up to them. I'll tell you this. I prayed and wished that was the Super Bowl because you wouldn't have heard any complaints on my end if that were the final game of the season. And how about those Commanders, man? And Jaden Daniels, he's a baller.
Jaden Daniels looked good. He looked smooth. He looked calm. But here's the thing, too, though. I mean, yeah, they gave up more points than they had been giving up. The defense did. But 5 turnovers, how do you expect to win?
You can't.
I mean, turnovers, interceptions. Remember, they won a game earlier this year where Goff threw 5 interceptions. They still won. But not in the playoffs, bro. Not in the playoffs. And the Commanders, their D-line was getting at it. 9 sacks or 8 sacks or something like that. They were coming after him. And then again, Jaden Daniels looked great. Washington, I don't think they're going to go past this round. I mean, they were out the welcome because I think the Eagles are going to get them.
The NFC East is the NFC beast this year, Alex, because it is the Commanders and the Eagles, two NFC East teams that are going at it. We're not going to talk about the other NFC East teams here because one of them is one of mine. But still, I don't want to hear anything about this NFC North stuff because the two best teams in the NFC are from the East this year, baby.
No.
Yeah. Come on, Alex.
The best team is from, and the Lions, they just happen to get beat. That doesn't mean that you're trying to tell me that if they lined up 5 times that the Commanders are going to beat the Lions 5 times. How many times?
I don't know, man.
No, they're not. They are not going to. 5 interceptions is why they lost. So it is the NFC North still with 3 teams made the playoffs, and the Lions, the Packers, and the Vikings, and the Bears are going to be there.
How many wins did they have in October, Alex? Or in January, I should say.
I mean, hey, listen. Your team's outlasting, outplaying, whatever, in the NFC East. They're getting fortunate. Now, Eagles, very respectful, but the other teams are garbage. They both won, 2 games together? I mean, yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay, but then you have the Chiefs. Obviously, they're back in the NFC Championship game. Ooh, and I'm going to go back to them. I'm going to come back to them. But the Ravens versus Buffalo. The Ravens just made too many mistakes.
Playoff Lamar came again, especially in that first half.
Wait, did you say the playoff what, Lamar?
Playoff Lamar, yeah.
Okay, that's a tough one. You said the first half, but because he came back and scored that game-winning drive.
That's true. Yeah, I understand that, but it doesn't matter because they didn't win the game. And Mark Andrews, dude, I can't feel bad for any more else than Mark Andrews, man, because you and I could have made that catch.
Should have made the catch.
And he should have made that
Not
catch.
only that, but then he loses the fumble on the drive before.
Yeah.
I mean, Mark Andrews is the reason why they lost that game. I'm going to say it. But then turnovers. I mean, you had Lamar. He only threw the one interception, and then he had the sloppy play. Yeah. I'm not going to say playoff Lamar was back, but I wonder what Stephen A. Smith and the rest of them are going to say. I don't think he's the reason they lost that game, though. And that's what they're saying. He just could not be the reason they lost. He outplayed Josh Allen. The stats were there.
Yeah, Josh Allen didn't play that well. Didn't Baltimore outgain Buffalo in that game?
I don't know. I should have checked it out. The defense was the deal. I mean, man, but when you can't make turnovers. They had 4 turnovers or 3 or 4 turnovers.
3 or 4 turnovers.
Yeah, 3 turnovers, and then the one dropped 2-point conversion. I mean,
too many mistakes.
Too many mistakes. So we'll end the show on this. Who's going to the Super Bowl? Who you got?
I mean, why even bother fighting against it? It's going to be the Chiefs. Listen here. I've tried so hard for so long just to pray on the Chiefs' downfall. It's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. Yeah. They are God's team. They are going to the Super Bowl, and they're pretty much probably going to win it. It's just about who's going to be there, and we're going to have Chiefs-Eagles again. That's my prediction.
Chiefs-Eagles? That's what you're going for? Yeah. You're probably right. But I hope it's the Chiefs. I hope it's not Chiefs. I hope it's Buffalo versus the Eagles, and I hope that
Buffalo versus Washington Super Bowl would feed so many families. It's got to happen. But I mean, listen, we're going to get Chiefs Eagles. We want something to happen, but God has something different planned.
I have something different. So, well, hey, that's all we got for you. This is Frontline Faith with Alex Bryant. Frontline Faith with Alex Bryant. Hey, like, subscribe, and share this. Check it out. You got to go to our Facebook page and subscribe, Frontline Faith. And again, you're probably watching this on our Facebook. You might be watching on Planet 417. That's the app. You can download to watch it. There's so many ways you can check out Frontline Faith with Alex Bryant. You got to make sure you are. We thank you. We appreciate you. Until Thursday, we're going to be out. Hey, Thursday, we're going to have Colonel Scott McChrystal. He's going to be joining us on Frontline Faith with Alex Bryant. That's all I got. Until next time, word.